Pleasant good morning, everyone. Welcome to Lee Snyder Stadium. Welcome to Bixby, America, and welcome to the INFC Championship Saturday. Grades 1 through 7 will roll your way. Coming up next, and Richard, take us through a couple of the first three ball games.
We're going to start off, Don, with South Tulsa and Claremore in the first grade, followed with T-Way and Stillwater. Then we're going to get a big dose of Bixby. Bixby Broken Arrow third, Bixby Edmond in fourth. Then we got the Battle of Bulldogs in the fifth grade at White versus Blue.
In the sixth grade ball game, we'll come back with Bixby Red taking on TYAA Red. And your seventh grade final will be Union Chrome versus Owasso Red. So grades 1 through 7, it'll play out in its entirety today on TV. Richard, hey, what kind of day do you think we'll honestly have?
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I think it's a woo kind of day we're going to have.
2 claps, and you gave me the Ric Flair.
And a Ric Flair. That's what we're going to have, Don.
And we'll go down to the field for the player introductions for the first grade championship ball game.
First for your first grade South Tulsa defenders. Number 1, Caden Montgomery. Number 2, Ken Thompson. Number 3, Rowdy Upton. Number 6, MJ Davis. Number 13, Jack Curtis. Number 30, Marcio Davis. Number 44, Bo Daniel. Number 49, Corian Davis. Number 50, Kellen Joseph. Your assistant coaches are Dwayne Joseph, Brian Montgomery, Brian Pratt, head coach Rico Davis. Also, number 9, Max Turner. And for your home team, your first grade, Claremore Zebras. Number 1, Gage McLicker. Number 7, Andy Johnson. Number 9, Keegan Blizzard. Number 10, Brody Smith. Number 23, Casey Morris. Number 32, Ken Kennard. Number 44, Ronan Wheeler. Number 67, Christopher Bean. Number 84, Braden Roberts. Number 99, Devin Kennard. Your assistant coaches, Roswell Kennard, Colton Potter, Tyler Christensen, your head coach, Jimmy Smith.
All right, don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll be right back with the opening kickoff from your Mighty Mike Championship Final.
It takes a lot. Down the line. Good morning.
We're America's #1 sporting goods store, and we're always open. Every season starts at Dix.com.
It's the sale you wait all year for. The 0-0 event going on now at Classic Chevrolet. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Chevy Silverados, only $399 a month. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Traverses, Camaros, Impalas, Malibus. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Chevy Sparks, only $149 a month. 0 reasons not to get to Classic Chevrolet today. The 0-0 event going on now at Classic Chevrolet. Online at ClassicChevrolet.net.
The Indian Nations Football Conference Championship, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts with Dick's. And by Classic Chevrolet. Save time, shop online.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lee Snyder Stadium. we're ready for the first grade ball game today, Richard. We've got the Claremore Zebras taking on the South Tulsa Defenders.
Well, it's a coin toss on this ball game, Don. Followed it a little bit on the internet, how they kind of went through. Obviously, for some TYA teams to get beaten out by them, pretty impressive. Just remember, this is a running clock. These games go by really, really fast. They've shortened the field. They bring in from the sidelines the down markers to the hash marks. Just a few little rule changes here and there, which makes it a lot more competitive instead of them looking like they're running around out there on a couple acres of grass, which is what it used to be years ago.
Well, I agree with you 100%. As far as this one being a toss-up, both of these ball clubs come into the game undefeated. One of the neat things about the Claremore group that I found out from talking to the head coach, Mr. Jimmy Smith, last evening, they only had 14 young men in the first grade that signed up to play tackle football this season. They put them all on one team, and lo and behold, the 10 young men that are here today are the only 10 that showed up. They strapped the helmets on, and about 3 months later, they're in the championship game, first year they've ever played football.
Pretty impressive. If you're making a movie, that's the kind of movies you want to make it after right there. Put a bunch of kids together, first time ever to play. Obviously, a lot of dedication by those coaches, which we know all across the INFC. A lot of dedication by those coaches, a lot of free time out there that they're spending with these kids. But what a story that would be, and especially if they find a way to bring home the gold ball to Claremore.
The Defenders have won the toss. They say, thank you, we'll take the ball to start the ball game. That'll put the Claremore Zebras on defense to start this contest. Hey, as Richard talked about, certain rule changes we'll go over. You'll notice in the Mighty Mite games, both the first and second grade, there will be no kickoffs. What we simply do is we spot the ball at the 40-yard line, and we play normal football from there. The field, obviously, it's narrowed a little bit. It's still 100 yards long. The clock, as Richard mentioned, it's a running clock. It'll only stop with timeouts and, of course, player injuries. But other than that, when they go out of bounds, I know your average sports fan, when they watch this back, they think, hey, they should stop the clock. Well, in Mighty Mites, we don't stop it.
No, and once again, talking about coaches, what a tremendous job they do, especially at this grade. You know as well as I do, it's like herding kittens, trying to get them all to do the same thing over and over again. But hats off to them, Don, on thinking that kids aren't able to do certain things, and yet here they are with a chance to play for a gold ball.
Well, we're going to put the Claremore group on defense, and Coach Smith told me when they're on defense, look out for number 99, Devin Kennard, and number 44, Roland Wheeler.
And here we go.
To run the offense for the Defenders, they'll set number 6, that's MJ Davis. He'll take it around the far side, head up the sidelines, first down and more. According to the Claremore coaches, they thought maybe the ball came loose. I don't see a signal from the officials. They're moving the chains, so the Defenders on the first play of the ball game, they'll pick up a big first down.
Well, just straight quarterback sweep right. That's what you'll see a lot. Not very many handoffs at this age. You'll see a few. One thing you rarely see at this age is passing. But coming back, the clock doesn't stop, even if it's an incomplete pass.
The Defenders will set 2 in the backfield, and again, as we talked about, MJ Davis, he'll run the show, and they'll set up in the eye. Just as we say, they don't hand it off too often. They'll hand it off to number 1.
Picks up another nice 2 big runs. Already made a change too. You notice they went from 4 down linemen to 3, so they're trying to get those linebackers free but they just missing tackles.
Back to a little delay with a quarterback draw, and one more time, that is number 6. Actually, no, it's number 44, Roman. Oh, Roman Wheeler plays for Claremore. Let's get this straight. That's MJ Davis on the carry. So we featured Davis twice and Bear Montgomery once, and we're looking at second down and 6. Wheeler Joseph with a nice block out in front. Touchdown. Defenders on the opening drive of the game. They'll march at the length of the field, and they'll put 6 on the board.
Once again, they found something they like. That time, might not have been outside, but it was off the right side, off that offensive line, doing a great job up front, at least staying with blockers, which is something to say at first grade for kids to understand the importance of just staying with the block, getting away.
Many people kind of describe the blocking in the first and second grade, even in the third, really, almost like a basketball screen. You're not looking for a whole lot of contact, as Richard talked about. You're just simply looking to shield it, and the point after is good. Back to Montgomery, and they'll hang 6 more, or actually that's the extra point. So that'll put the score 7-0 Defenders, and when we come back, we'll put the Claremore Zebras on offense. As we talked about before the ball game, no kickoffs after the score. We'll simply bring the ball back out to the 40, and now Claremore will have their first opportunity to show off their offense, and when they're on offense, to run the offense for the Claremore Zebras is number 44, Roman Wheeler. He'll be joined in the backfield by Kennard and Kennard. And believe it or not, they're not twins, they're actually cousins. And that's Dan and Kennard. Try to bounce it to the outside, but one of the defenders is there to make the stop right at the line of scrimmage.
Nice pursuit by the corner, coming up and fitting, and then help bounce it on outside further by staying in his assignment. And number 44, Bo Daniels, finished him off over on the sideline.
Daniels, as Coach Smith talked about before the ball game, will lead the way on defense as well as on offense from time to time. Ball comes loose. Cold day like today, small hands, we may see a lot of that. Problems with the exchange. Claremore looks at 3rd down. We'll call it 3rd down and 12 as the clock works inside of 4:20, quarter number 1. Wheeler to the outside.
That was Kennard, I do believe, number 99 on the carry. And I think Ronan Wheeler was the lead blocker. Nice positive gain, pick up about 7, bring up 4th down and 5. Big play here for the Claremore offense to kind of settle their nerves and get that first down.
M.J. Davis on the last tackle. One of the struggles we'll have most of the morning with the Mighty Mites is sometimes identifying the numbers is kind of tough because about half the number ends up tucked into the pants, and he'll turn the corner and head up the sideline. Zebras with a 1st down. Caden Montgomery with a big hit, but not before the Zebras will move the sticks. 1st and 10, Claremore.
That's what they needed right there to kind of settle it. You know, South Tulsa took it right down and scored. They fumbled a snap. You know, no pickup on the first play, so fumbled a snap, but 2 good runs by Kennard has got him a 1st down at the South Tulsa 42-yard line. Another fumbled snap.
Quarterback is able to get back on the loose football, but they're going to lose 2 on the play. They'll look over a 2nd down and 12. As Richard talked about, momentum is so important in the Mighty Mite football game because a lot of times if you can get that 2nd score, there's just not really enough time ever to come back from being down 2 scores.
Not if they showed unable to stop them like they did that first series.
Wheeler takes it deep in the backfield and will head to the near sidelines. He's going to be slung down right at the line of scrimmage. Heads up play by number 6 for the Defenders.
That's M.J. Davis making a great play, staying at home. Looked like kind of a bootleg out of the fake handoff in the backfield, and Davis did a good job staying at home and making the play.
Assignment football. That's one of the things that we'll talk about coming up in one of the older grades. Is one of the coaches said that he preaches assignment, alignment, and effort. And that's what you're looking for, probably as much here in the Mighty Mites as any, because it's a foot race to try to see who can get to the outside. First flag of the day, which actually speaks well for both of these ball clubs. We have first graders here, folks, and we got late into the first quarter before we had any infractions. Penalty was assessed on the offense. We had somebody moving before the snap. That'll back them up, third down and about 19. Ball's loose one more time, which will bring up fourth down. I believe that was Kennard that couldn't handle the handoff.
Well, this is a big fourth down, and it's, you know, because if not, they'll turn around and give the ball at midfield, and, you know, it just, like you said, I mean, we're already through the first quarter. We got about 40 seconds left in the first quarter, and there's just not enough time, and they've only had about 6 snaps, and they've already used, you know, might have had 9 snaps, 10 snaps for the first quarter by both teams. Great job staying at home, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Be first and 10 for the defenders as they take over at midfield, as they did a great job staying at home, Davis did, and tackle them in the backfield.
Daniels and Davis combined on the last tackle. That's going to turn the ball back over first and 10 to the South Tulsa defenders.
We might not get a snap off, and that might be the end of the first quarter.
Well, since they're just now getting to the huddle, I agree with you, Richard. With only 6 seconds left, we're going to move to quarter number 2. And the way we're positioned on the field, we won't have much of a movement. We'll just have to simply shift the two teams on different sides of the ball. We'll be back with more Mighty Mite football right after this from Dick's Sporting Goods.
It's the sale you wait all year for. The 0-0 event going on now at Classic Chevrolet. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Chevy Silverados, only $399 a month. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Traverses, Camaros, Impalas, Malibus. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Chevy Sparks, only $149 a month. 0 reasons not to get to Classic Chevrolet today. The 0-0 event going on now at Classic Chevrolet. Online at ClassicChevrolet.net.
Welcome back to Lee Snyder Stadium, game 1 of 7. It'll come your way today. The South Tulsa defenders are taking on the Claremore Zebras in the first grade Mighty Mite shootout. Right now, as we come back to start the second quarter, we've got the defenders with the football and a 7-0 lead.
Well, that was a quick first quarter, Don, and like you were talking about, South Tulsa can put a big, you know, start that nail in the coffin. Just a couple little taps if they can score right here before halftime.
Miller back to the right side again, and that's M.J. Davis. The quarterback simply takes it and heads to the far side, and he'll pick up about 5 on first down and make it second down. We'll actually give him 6 yards on the carry. So we got second down and 4, and it's a steady dose to the right side. We'll try to highlight some of the big boys that are on that side, and I think we can kind of see that the guard over on the right side might be the biggest young man out here. So it's probably smart to go ahead and run behind him. That handoff goes to Montgomery. Montgomery will work it into the secondary, back across field to the 30. Foot race inside the 20 to the 15, still on his feet to the 10. Finally pushed out of bounds at the 9, first and goal defenders.
That was a great run, changing field. He started off left, the backside containment, which is really tough to teach even in high school and college. Comes all the way on, reverses field all the way back, picks up about 35 yards on the play, brings up first and goal for the South Tulsa as number 1, Cade Montgomery did a tremendous job on his run.
As Richard mentioned, Montgomery had a net carry of about 30, but he probably ran it 62 or 3 yards on the play as he went all the way to the right, came all the way back across the field. Now we'll go to the quarterback keeper, and he'll take it to the right side as well. Turns the corner, but the defense shows up in a hurry. Nice game pursuit by the Claremore Zebra defense.
Yeah, they kind of stayed at home that time, Don. And, you know, field gets shorter down inside the red zone. Field gets shorter, not as much room to move around in. And Claremore did a great job staying at home, making the tackle for just a 1-yard gain.
Christopher Bing was there for the Zebra defense. He got plenty of help, but Bing was the first one to put a helmet on him. 2nd and goal, ball at the 9, so they actually lost a yard on that play. Back to the right side. Again, it's played nicely by the Claremore defense. Andy Johnson sealed the edge. Makes the ball carrier reverse the field, and this time he will not get to the outside. Johnson comes all the way back across the field and finishes the tackle off that he started on the other side of the field.
That's just great effort, and that's so much in sports is effort. And he did a good job continuing after the play and making the tackle.
Well, we led off this second quarter by talking about tapping on a nail. Well, maybe the Claremore defense has other intentions here, Richard, to try to see if they can keep that nail from getting in the coffin, because 2 scores is huge to overcome, but we've had 2 straight stops of no gain. In fact, on that last one, they'll lose another yard, and it's back to 3rd and goal from the 11. Have another flag as we go quarterback keeper. If this is on the offense, which it is, the Zebra defense may elect to decline this and make it 4th down.
Looks like they took the penalty, Don, so it'll be 3rd down and goal from the 18. And they were 1st and goal at the 10, so Claremore defense, like you just talked about, has done a great job.
The penalty was actually assessed for a legal shift.
I might have thought about declining that, Don. There was no gain, if anything, a yard, and now you limit them to 1 play for 10. Now you're giving them 2 chances. As they've shown in the first quarter, they're able to run off some big plays.
I agree. The less opportunities MJ Davis has to go to the far side, and now they'll put a different one under quarterback for this sequence. They'll go back to number 44. That's Bo Daniels actually lined up at quarterback and took the snap. One more time, he'll head to the far side, the right side, and he'll jump in behind Corian Davis. Big number 49 with the lead block, and we're back to 4th and goal. Back down to the 9, so about the original line of scrimmage.
Not to where we're at right now, and now it's 4th and goal. Big play for Claremore right here if they try to stay in the ball game early.
They can make a stop here. You could very easily see us getting to the half with the score just 7-0, and it'll be anybody's ball game.
Well, I'm guessing they're going to run to the right side as 49 and 50 on that right side.
For the snap again, we had a little bit of problems with the exchange between the center and the quarterback, which caused one of the linemen to jump early, so we had a legal motion on the offense. Back them up 5, 4th and goal, back to, all the way back to about the 18-yard line. So
big play right here for Claremore defense. The only thing is, if you look at the clock, they ran off 6 minutes. Even if they don't score, they're limiting the chances of them touching it. The good thing is, though, after we switch over and start the 3rd quarter, Claremore will be 1st and 10 for them as they'll start the second half. So defense needs to step up.
Also got a treat for you coming up at halftime. We'll have a halftime presentation from the Lady Zebras from Claremore. They'll be our halftime entertainment. To the left side this time, inside the 5, cuts back at the 3, and all that work is for naught, because he'll put it in the end zone on 4th and 18, and the first time all game we go to the other side.
Well, that comes back, Don, as we were talking about earlier. We might have thought about declining that penalty earlier in the game, because now you give them 2 chances to score instead of having it 4th and 11, and you gave them 2 snaps, and South Tulsa made it hurt right there.
Because they actually had stopped them on the play before that. They declined it, and they could have taken the ball. So now we'll line up for the extra point. The defenders will stay in the eye. They'll put big number 44. He'll dot the I, and
Out the right
that's
side.
Daniels.
Extra point is good. So South Tulsa stayed in there, ran off over 6 minutes, and found a way to overcome some penalties. Defense stepped up a little bit for Claremore, but the South Tulsa still found a way to find the end zone. 1:51 remaining until halftime, and now it's 14-0.
We'll bring the ball back out to the 40. That'll give us a chance to say thank you to Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts with Dick's. Also thanks to Classic Chevrolet, who's one of our sponsors for INFC Championship Saturday. Hey, if you're listening to our broadcast and you own or operate a business in the Indian Nations Conference area, contact us there at the office. We'd love to have you as a sponsor next year as we get ready. These coaches, Richard, take about 3 weeks off, and then they already start thinking about the draft and who they could pick up and how they'll improve their team. Claremore with their second opportunity with the football. Nice hard run right there. She'll break the first 2 tackles. I believe that was number 32 on the carry. That's Cannon Kennard, one of the cousins. He'll get 4 on the play. Timeout will be taken by the Claremore Zebras, and I think some of the fans got a little worked up there because they forgot how we operate the clock in this regard.
Yeah, as soon as they set the ball, that clock's running, and those kids were, being kids. And I think you get 2 timeouts a half, and so they have used one of their timeouts right there. Hey, just letting everybody know, coming up, our next ball game will be in the 2nd grade Mighty Mites. Same rules that we've been talking about. It'll be TYA White versus the visitors will be Stillwater Blue, followed in the 3rd grade by Broken Arrow Black versus Bixby Red. Bixby being their home field here for the INFC Championship. Our first look at a Bixby team as they get to play at home. Followed in the 4th grade by Bixby Red against Edmond. Another Bixby team, had a great year, so we have 2 of them there. 5th grade, we have TYA White versus TYA Blue. Those are always battles. And then we have Bixby Red again and TYA Red, followed by our last game, Owasso Red versus Union Chrome.
With 1:09 left in the first half. For the snap, they're actually pointing at the defense this time. An equipment infraction on one of the South Tulsa defenders. Believe it or not, the first grader forgot to put his mouthpiece in.
Nah, they're usually so good at bringing everything to practice. They clean their rooms when they're told to. So that's really a shock that a kid forgets his mouthpiece.
That'll bring it up 2nd short, 2nd down. Less than 2 to go. And 1:08 left to the break. And again, one more time, we've got movement up front. And that's another free 5 yards for the Claremore offense, and their coaches have got to be thinking now, hey, is it possible that we can get it in the end zone before the halftime?
They're going to have Kennard bust a big one if that's one of their team guys. Right now they've been held in check to 4 or 5 yard gains as the biggest. So here we go. We're going to find out they have a chance.
Quarterback fakes the rollout. He'll do a little inside handoff coming right straight back at us. Timeout. Zebras, they'll use their last timeout. And that'll give us an opportunity to talk a little bit more about what comes your way later. The 7th grade ball game will be a shootout between the Union Redskins and Owasso. So it's actually Union Chrome and Owasso Red in the 7th grade. Richard took you through the other ones. In the 6th grade, there'll be a big shootout between Bixby Red and TYAA Red. We'll talk to you more about these games as we go along, but we've got several undefeated teams here today. We've also got some rematches that we'll talk about. Claremore Zebras, when we come out of the timeout, they've got the ball set, 2nd down and 10. Ball rested about the 47-yard line with 54 seconds left in the half. Daniels, that's Bo Daniels. He'll fill the hole in a hurry for no gain on the play. And the Claremore coaches will go in a hurry.
That's what I'd say. Here's where not having any timeouts, trying to get huddle those kids up.
They'll try the middle of the line, and Daniels and friends are there in a hurry. Kellen Joseph.
And I'm going to guess, Don, this will probably be the last snap of the quarter at the rate this is going right now. A good chance this will be it with only 15 seconds by the time the ball snapped.
Just a couple ticks of the clock left till halftime, and we'll probably throw it down to the field for a couple interviews and some halftime fun brought to you by Ron Semberg Chili. Timeout will be actually taken with 6 seconds left. Heads up play by the Defenders head coach as he said, hey, give me one more snap and I'll see if I can't bust another one.
And they've been running off some long ones, so it's safe to see why he would be calling timeout, as they probably had at least 3 or 4 plays in the first half of 20 yards or more. And so we'll have one snap to see what they've got.
We've highlighted a lot of Davis and Daniels in the first half. This might be a time to pull a little trickeration maybe, and let's let number 1 carry the ball, see what he can do with 6 seconds left. Timeout was taken by, obviously, at that time they were on defense. Now it being 4th down, that'll switch the ball over. First and 10 to defenders, and the ball's at about the 47-yard line. Thanks to Classic Chevrolet and Dick's Sporting Goods, where every season starts with Dick's. We're helping sponsor INFC Championship Saturday.
Boy, Dick's does a great job for the youth sports around the local area, don't they?
Not just in here, but we talked about the fact we've got an Edmond team for the first time. Dick's has a large presence over on the west side of the state as well. Quarterback rolls to this side. He'll need one block. He will not get it. He's actually going to be tossed out of bounds just as the clock hits 0-0. So we will indeed go to halftime with a score. The South Tulsa Defenders 14 and the Claremore Zebras 0. And that'll take us to the halftime break. We'll be back with more.
It's the sale you wait all year for, the 0-0 event, going on now at Classic Chevrolet. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Chevy Silverados, only $399 a month. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Traverses, Camaros, Impalas, Malibus. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Chevy Sparks, only $149 a month. 0 reasons not to get to Classic Chevrolet today. The 0-0 event going on now at Classic Chevrolet. Online at ClassicChevrolet.net.
As a mother of 3, I've seen the positive impact sports have on kids. At Dick's Sporting Goods, we believe everyone should have the chance to play. And if cost ever gets in the way, that goes against everything we believe. So we're stocking new gear at lower prices and introducing the best price guarantee. If you find a lower price from a competitor, we'll match it. Because it's not enough to offer you the best gear. We need to offer it at the best price.
Welcome back to Lee Snyder Stadium. Now we'll go to the next booth for Chris Roberts, and he'll introduce you to the Lady Claremore Zebra Cheerleaders.
Introducing first, Alea, Callie, Presley, Elena, LaKayla, Clara, there he goes. Kinley. And Ariana. your first grade, Claremore.
That concludes the halftime fun. Now we'll go back to the field for more interviews with Charity Barton.
Hi, I have with me Coach Smith from the Claremore team. So, Coach, after the first play, what were your thoughts when the South Tulsa scored that touchdown?
We just knew we had to slow down and play our game. We got a good defense. We just got to get our stuff together and get our boys where we need to be, and we'll be all right.
Okay, and how are you using this time during halftime to prepare your defense?
Just to kind of get our defense ready and tell our boys what, to do what they do, and they know their drills and they know their positions, and let's just play our game. Come here and play Zebra football and see what happens.
There's a crowd here. You have a huge crowd. Is the crowd helping?
Yes. The boys love it. They love all the cheering and all the family here and everything else. It keeps them pumped up.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Coach. Back to you, Don.
When we come back, we'll have second half action with South Tulsa on top of Claremore, 14-0.
It takes enough. Down the line.
Good morning.
We're America's #1 sporting goods store, and we're always open. Every season starts at Dix.com.
It's the sale you wait all year for. The 0-0 event going on now at Classic Chevrolet. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Chevy Silverados, only $399 a month. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Traverses, Camaros, Impalas, Malibus. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Chevy Sparks, only $149 a month. 0 reasons not to get to Classic Chevrolet today. The 0-0 event going on now at Classic Chevrolet. Online at ClassicChevrolet.net.
The Indian Nations Football Conference Championship, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts with Dick's. And by Classic Chevrolet. Save time, shop online.
Welcome back to Lee Snyder Stadium. Now down to the field for Charity Barton.
Hi, I have with me Coach Davis here from the South Tulsa Defenders. Coach, after the first touchdown, what were your thoughts about that play?
We need to keep running the ball, stay to the outside, keep our blocks, and keep doing what we're doing.
Great. So now going into halftime, how are you guys going to keep up that momentum?
Play defense, stay on the outside, don't let the running backs get to the outside, and keep some hand warmers for the kids.
Awesome. Way to stay prepared for the cold. Thank you, Coach. Back to you, Don.
Thank you, Charity, and we're back to Lee Snyder Stadium, and we're ready. We normally would say to kick off the second half, but the way the Mighty Mites works, as I think you probably noticed in the first half, we'll simply put the Claremore Zebras on offense right now. Richard, they've got the ball at the 40, and they best score on this drive.
Yeah, because as we've talked about before,
first play of the second half will be a little inside handoff to the second back through, and he's into the secondary in a hurry. Caden Montgomery came all the way across the field to make the stop, but not before the Claremore Zebras will pick up a first down, spot the ball at the 50, and the drive continues.
big starting position as we talked about, because they might get the ball maybe 2 more times after this at the most. And they've got to, their chances are limiting, so they've got to, if they have a chance, they've got to go down and score on this possession if they want to stay in the ball game.
One time, we have a little problems with the exchange. The quarterback, though, Wheeler, no problem getting on the football, but there's going to be no gain on the play. We'll keep the ball right at the 50, and we'll go second down 10. Coach says run it, so we'll go back to the play we originally called right before the missed snap. Foot race to the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5 Zebras to the house. And there was the score that we talked about they had to have, Richard.
And they busted that big play right up the gut. And great blocking, as you've talked about in the first half. Great job of screening their defense, and they had a big play, and they needed it.
I believe that was Cannon Kennard that got loose, but now we have to deal with a very, very important extra point, because obviously in the Mighty Mites, there won't be any kicking it, and as we'll talk later on in the afternoon, if you kick it in INFC play, you get 2. If you run it in, it's just 1. So they'll have to not only match them score for score, they got to match them extra point for extra point.
Yeah. And I've had the luxury of watching some of the Bixby teams this year, and 2 of the 4th grade team, they can kick it. And so that makes a 2-possession game. If you're not able to kick, that makes a 2-possession game.
Well, we know better than to show him on TV, but with special thanks to Seth Watkins, as he brought some refreshments up to the booth for us, and we'll actually be able to tell you a little bit more later on in the afternoon on some of the local sponsors that have helped us today. And while I'm running my mouth, we missed it. Point after is good. 14-7, and we'll come back with the defenders on offense, and we'll do that. I thought we were going to go to break, but no, we're going to keep it right here with 6:52 left. Coming up next, the 2nd grade shootout. We'll stay in the Mighty Mites, but we'll have the Stillwater Pioneers taking on TYAA White. And I don't know if I had a chance to tell you this before the game, Richard, but Stillwater has not surrendered a single point all year.
That's quite impressive, no matter what age, and nonetheless to have 2nd grade do it.
So they'll try to keep that streak alive of not giving up any points. And I know TYA White will have other aspirations, and TYA White might be the fastest team that Stillwater's played all year.
Well, the defense has come to play in the second half. I don't know what those coaches have done for Claremore, but they've made a few adjustments, obviously offensively, as they went right down and scored in 3 plays to close the gap to 14-7. But now, first possession where they've been giving up 8, 10, 12, 15 yards, they held them to a 2-yard gain, and we're going to see if that trend continues for Claremore.
Well, we saw a little foreshadowing of the turnaround maybe of the Claremore defense on the defenders' last possession, because as you recall, they had it 1st and goal from the 8 after a couple penalties. It took them 4 downs to score, and they had to do it with an 18-yard run. So, folks, we got ourselves a ball game, 14-7. Quarterback from the defenders will come down the line of scrimmage, and now as we talk about backside containment, he'll reverse his field, head up the sidelines, 1st down and more.
Looks like he picked up a 1st down, and great run by MJ Davis as he gets brought down at the 48-yard line, but South Tulsa will take over 1st and 10. And as that clock keeps running, we're already at 3 minutes gone in the 3rd quarter. Don't close your eyes or blink, as they say, because before you know it, kind of like your kids growing up, this game will be over pretty quick.
Gage and Kennard came across to make the tackle, but as Richard noted, not before they moved the sticks. 1st and 10 defenders. Ball rests at the 48-yard line. Before the snap, I believe we had movement by one of the backs, and that will cost them 5. MJ Davis continues to run the offense for the defenders, and Dennis and Montgomery are his 2 backs. Actually, it's Daniels and Montgomery. One of the onside officials kind of corrected me there. Again, it wasn't movement. Again, we had the mouthpiece infraction, which
really shocks me.
Yeah. No sarcasm there.
None by me.
1st and 15. Daniels just got a huge block from one of the defenders' linemen. We do have a flag backside hold. And that's one of those plays that causes a coach, even at the age of the defender's coach, to get gray way before his time, as the running back had passed the play and we have a hold in behind. Obviously it wasn't needed, but it's hard to get that across to some of the older players, much less the 1st graders.
And you think about it, Don, they started 1st down with 5:30 left, and they've had 2 penalties. and it's already 2 minutes off the clock. That's what we're talking about. They've got to take advantage of their possessions when they get that opportunity, because the clock is going to continue running until the last 2 minutes of the ball game. Then it becomes official clock. But now we had our third penalty, and the clock's still running.
We had pretty much a penalty-free first half up until the last drive of the game inside the 10 there. We had a couple penalties. Now the second half is kind of just diametrically opposed to what we saw in the first half. Lots of penalties, lots of movement. Probably could have called that one as well. They'll try the inside of the line, and
looks like that was Ronan Wheeler in there on the tackle, along with number 7, Andy Johnson, as the Claremore defense, like I mentioned, has stepping up and coming in there. The only negative, like I said, is they got that first down, and they hit that first touchdown for Claremore with about 7 minutes left still, 6.5, and South Tulsa's had it for over 4.5 minutes in the third quarter.
Johnson filled the last hole nicely, as Richard talked about. He was the second man to put a helmet on him, but he made sure there was no gain on the play. Quarterback will go right straight up the middle. Quarterback on quarterback.
Wheeler did a good job again. Number 44 steps in there and makes the tackle.
Roman Wheeler with a shoestring tackle to prevent the quarterback from the defenders from taking it to the house, and it's 3rd down 3. Probably hear on the field side mic, the Claremore Zebra fans have came alive as they need a stop right here. Kind of a delay from the quarterback, and he'll shake free. Did he pick up the first down?
He's really close. Great effort. Great effort. And he picks the first down. And see, just 2 first downs, and they've taken over 5.5 minutes off the clock. And they're going to take this, unless they have a turnover, they're going to take this into the fourth quarter.
Ball rests at the 38-yard line. As the official on this side of the field, Mr. Hooko was the one that signaled it was a first down.
Hand off to the left side by Montgomery. Brought down quickly, though. Like I talked about, defense has done a pretty good job of containing. And looked like on the tackle was Devin Kennard for the Claremore Zebras. And I'm trying to get a number. Looks like number 23, Casey Morris, did a great job for the defense from that linebacker position. Bring up 2nd down and 7, it looks like, for South Tulsa. And there's a good chance that's almost going to bring us down to the end of the third quarter. They'll have to snap it one more time. And before you blink of an eye, we're already going to be starting the fourth quarter of our first game of INFC Championship Saturday, Don.
Which means we'll have 6 more to go, and we'll have an opportunity to talk about more of those games as the day unfolds. Quarterback again on the keeper.
Great job by the defense staying at home. But looks like that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. It looks like number 32, Kennard, was on the tackle, and that'll bring us to the end of 3 quarters of play.
Kennard with the final tackle of the third quarter. We'll be back with more INFC football right after this.
It's the sale you wait all year for. The 0-0 event going on now at Classic Chevrolet. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Chevy Silverados, only $399 a month. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Traverses, Camaros, Impalas, Malibus. 0 down, 0 first month's payment on Chevy Sparks, only $149 a month. 0 reasons not to get to Classic Chevrolet today. The 0-0 event going on now at Classic Chevrolet. Online at ClassicChevrolet.net.
As a mother of 3, I've seen the positive impact sports have on kids. At Dick's Sporting Goods, we believe everyone should have the chance to play. And if cost ever gets in the way, that goes against everything we believe. So we're stocking new gear at lower prices and introducing the best price guarantee. If you find a lower price from a competitor, we'll match it. Because it's not enough to offer you the best gear. We need to offer it at the best price.
Back to Lee Snyder Stadium and just 1 quarter left to find out who will take home the gold ball. Will it be the Claremore Zebras or the South Tulsa Defenders? If the Defenders can keep the drive alive. If they put any points up here, it's going to be double tough, and look what we got.
We got a big stop in the backfield. Great job by the Claremore defense. Now here's where it is right here, Don. If this is how it's going to be all day long, this first game's a perfect example. If Claremore's defense can step up right here on 4th down, because last time, 4th and 18, and they gave up a touchdown. Right here, though, Claremore's made some adjustments, and they have done a good job of containing South Tulsa in that speed, and especially on their misdirections.
Talked about playing assignment football. Check the number. I believe it was number 84, Braden Roberts, playing the corner on the far side. He not only shut the edge down, but he came up and made the tackle for about a 6-yard loss, and we got 4th down 7. Coach kind of adjusts the line a little bit. He'll take a timeout. No, he won't take a timeout. Actually, we've got a delay game. No, now we're gonna change the delay game and say that the sidelines did indeed get the timeout called before the flag came out of the pocket. So we'll keep it.
Right, that's big right there, Don. We've talked about times not stopping until the last 2 minutes of the game when it turns into official clock. And now they've burned one of those timeouts here early in the 4th quarter. But I can understand it, though. 4th down and 8, if they can find a way to get a 1st down right here, I'm telling you, you can start hearing the hammer hitting the nail, and they have a good chance of trying to finish this ball game off.
Well, you talked about it. The defenders probably worked off 5.5, maybe 6 minutes, a quarter number 3, on just one possession. Claremore touched it once. Now, they were able to score, but they scored in a hurry, and then it was ball control from there.
Here we go. Big play, Don, by the Claremore defense. Need to step up right here.
MJ Davis will bring to the line of scrimmage, and the coach will keep it in Davis's hands. He'll turn the corner. Actually, Davis will step out of bounds on the far side. After only about a 3-yard gain, the ball goes over 1st and 10 to the Claremore Zebras. That brings the Claremore home side to their feet. A lot of these people have obviously seen as much Mighty Mite football as we have this year, Richard, and they understand this may be the last time the Zebras are on offense. And then we're looking at maybe bonus football, is they could knot it at 14 and we'll play overtime, which will explain the procedures of overtime if we get there. It's a little different than they play in the NFL and in college.
Let's see what they got planned up right here. Handoff. Defense is pursuing really well, though. Oh, nice tackle in there. Had the guy down. The clock's still going, though, Don, and they took over possession at 6:30. 6 minutes and 30 seconds left. They took over. Remember, even though he ran out of bounds on that play, he took over 6:30, and that's already been a minute off the clock, and they've only had one snap.
Defenders, defensive coach thought that the ball might have came loose there. In fact, we did have a beanbag that hit the field, which would have signaled possibly a turnover, but the back judge had his knee down before the ball came loose. Correct call.
Correct call. Huko likes to play ring toss, though, so he's always throwing beanbags everywhere.
Well, for people that may not know at home, all the officials that you will see working any of these ball games today, whether it's 1st grade or 7th grade, these are all high school certified officials. Some of them even do college football.
JUCO college, yeah.
So it's not like when you or I played this game where it was somebody's brother that they just threw a shirt to him before the ball game started. These are high school certified officials. We're looking at 3rd down 11. Claremore has got to score. The ball came loose, a turnover, but the quarterback will keep it. But now, with 4:35 left, Claremore faces a big 4th down. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see the Claremore coaching staff take a timeout to think about it. Not only that, and there it comes, timeout.
Yeah, big play right here.
Well, not only do you have a chance to look over your playbook, but you stop the clock, as Richard talked about.
Well, Don, we talked about how exciting Mighty Mites is. We're going to have another matchup. We talked about probably one of the fastest teams in Mighty Mite 2nd grade against one of the stingiest defenses. It goes back to baseball. Pitching or hitting, we're going to find out, offense or defense. Kind of like tonight with OU TCU. We're going to find out offense carries, defense carries.
Well, the second ball game, as Richard talked about, will feature the TYAA White Bulldogs against Stillwater Blue, the Pioneers. We always get excited when we see people from the other side of the state get to come over and participate. We'll break down more about the INFC. In fact, we have an Edmond team for the first time in our championship finals as well, but this ball game's not decided yet by a long shot, but it could be if Claremore doesn't pick the first down up right here, and they've got it 4th down and 14.
Big play right here for them, as we talked about with that clock. You know, they only have one timeout left now. We'll find out what they've got up their sleeve right here after that timeout.
Wheeler brings him under center. Wheeler will come with the inside handoff, and the defenders are there to blow it up after no gain, and that will turn the ball back over to South Tulsa. And leading the way was maybe one of the smaller guys on the field. That's Caden Montgomery. And then up off the pile last, I believe that's number 6, MJ Davis. So Montgomery and Davis made the stop, and more importantly, that gives the ball back to the defender offense, and now you watch. I'm not breaking the huddle till they make me.
Yeah.
Richard and I talked about the OU-TCU game, offense, defense. That's one of the things that I think's missing in college football and some in the pros too. There's no clock management anymore.
And
everyone just goes in a hurry.
The basic tackle, the basic assignment, basic execution of the tackle. You just miss a lot, but you're seeing a lot of it right there as number 6, Davis, makes a few guys miss, and now he's down the sideline. Now you got a touchdown south side, and there's a good chance you can start hearing that hammer ding, ding on that nail as they're trying to put this ball game away with 3:24, and we know how important extra points are. This could be a big one right here to put the icing on the cake. Fat lady warming up, singing, however you want to draw it up. Claremore's going to have to do some special stuff quickly to try to find a way to answer and get right back in it.
Well, if I could borrow from your analogy, she's not only warming up, she's into verse number 2, because without a turnover along the way here somewhere, we're going to hand a goal ball to the head coach for the South Tulsa defenders, and that's Rico Davis, and the point after is good. Claremore comes back with the ball on the 40 with lots of work to do with just 3:24 left in the contest. And the defenders hold a 21-7 lead. Coming up after the ball game, we should talk about the fact that Charity Barton will interview Mr. Davis or check the head coach for Jimmy Smith for the Claremore group. We'll have an interview with the head coach. We'll hand out some hardware as the winning team, believe it or not, much like in bowl championship fever. We're going to present them with a crystal ball. It's not a gold ball here as they shoot for in 6A and 5A football here in the state of Oklahoma, but they get a crystal ball. It's one of the nicer trophies I've ever seen.
Yes. Here comes the big play.
Coach is a point and take it to the outside, and he does. A huge first down for the Zebras. Kennard got loose into the secondary, finally pulled down by number 1 for the defenders.
Well, that time just keeps moving, and unfortunately against them, as we talked about.
One of the interior linemen, number 30, was also in on that last tackle. That's Davis for the defenders.
Nice play in the backfield by number 44, Bo Daniels. And brought down, it looks like, I think that's Kennard was on the carry pickup of a 1, bring up 2nd and 9, but we're down to 2 minutes, coming down to the 2-minute warning, and now it's all, it's official clock. Takes a little longer, but boy, it's hard when you only have one more timeout left and you're down 2 scores.
Not only 2 scores, but 2 extra points.
Now we have an official clock going forward from here. That's what the 2-minute warning means. Fumble, and that could be it. That could be it right there. That could be it right there.
We're going to see who come away with the football, and that's number 30, Mr. Davis. Johnny on the spot picked up the football, and you're to a point now where you can just about kneel it.
Well, there's, like you said, one timeout. They keep the ball in bounds. The only thing going to stop the clock's out of bounds, incomplete pass, timeout, or a first down, and they're picking up 3 or 4 yards right there, and there's a good chance this one's, like you said, I think she might be doing the third chorus now, third verse, warming up, and, you know, congratulations to both teams getting here, Don. We know how hard it is, especially for Mighty Mites. They played 92 games on that Saturday and Sunday, it seems like, and, you know, what a tremendous job to both teams and coaching staffs on getting their kids here, knowing we'll hear more from these teams as they get older.
Well, both teams come in undefeated. We'd like to thank the team on for both these groups. First off, for the Claremore Zebras, it's Brittany Johnson and Sarah Roberts. And the team mom for the South Tulsa Defenders is Brandy Smith Davis. And some of you listening may think, why in the world are they thanking the team moms? And I promise you, if you haven't been involved in sports, every coach will tell you, you can't pull it off without a family environment. And that team mom is the one that builds that for you.
And she does a great job of all the other stuff the coaches can't do. You know, getting everything lined up, when to get there early, snacks. You know how important snacks are. And we got to make sure those kids have those. And looks like this is probably going to be the last snap of the ball game here, Don. Unless Claremore decides to use their last timeout, this will probably be it.
We talked earlier about the Claremore fans. Now you can see the Defender fans across the way. They're all on their feet. Their mascot's making its way down to the field, and that will do it. The South Tulsa Defenders are going to be crowned the INFC first grade champions. Great job to Coach Rico Davis and the entire South Tulsa Defenders organization. But to Eric Munden and all of Claremore, things look bright for the Claremore Zebras. When your first grade team's in the finals, you can grow from there.
What a great job, like I said, both staffs. A lot of people showed up today, Don. I mean, it's cold. I mean, it's warm up here, but it's cold out there, and there's a lot of people that showed up for this ball game. I'd like to thank the cheerleaders for coming out and doing their halftime performance. We know they work just as hard.
Now we're going to toss it down to field side for Miss Charity Barton.
And I'm here with Chad Lott from INFC.
Coach, congratulations on making it to the championship game and for being the runner-up. Good job, All right, Coach, congratulations on your championship for the South Tulsa Defenders.
Appreciate it.
I am here with head coach, Coach Davis from South Tulsa Defenders. Coach, this is a great win for you. How do you think you guys handled the ball after coming back from halftime?
I think we had it good, no turnovers. Watched our penalties, didn't help them out with any penalties, and played defense, stayed to the outside, and had a couple good lucky runs.
Great, a lot of good lucky runs, Coach. So now with the fans, you have a huge fan right here behind us. Do you think that they helped you guys with this win, and how does it feel bringing home the championship?
Yeah, we couldn't do it without the fans, all the team moms, all the parents, hand warmers, blankets, scarves, water. It's a whole organization. We needed everybody. So we needed all the parents. We say thanks to the parents, fellas.
Thank you so much, Coach.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Yeah, congratulations, boys.
Let's go, guys. Good one.
Thank you, Charity, and we're back. And that will conclude the first of the Mighty Mite games, and we'll come up next with the second grade Mighty Mite shootout between TYAA and the Stillwater Pioneers. We'll be back to Lee Snyder Stadium right after this.